In the vault today, I wanted to introduce you to a book called The Children on Troublemaker Street by Astrid Lindgren. And this is the author of the Pippi Longstocking series, and she wrote some other books. This one is about three children named Jonas, Maria, and Lotta. The story is told from Maria's point of view, and I wasn't sure what to expect with it, but we had a lot of fun reading this, both my kids and I. I was reading it out loud to them, and we were laughing out loud at several parts and just delighted. Um, my daughter even cackled a few times, so you could tell how much fun she was having with it and wanted more and more chapters. There's only about 100 pages in this. I think it's definitely more of a read aloud story for younger children. Again, there's a, a chapter book if you for older kids. There are some illustrations on every other page, so it is a good like transition book in terms of going from picture book to chapter book, and doesn't take too long to read. Each chapter you can see is about 8 to 10 pages, so 5-10 minutes reading, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I would say it's in the vein of if you've read Naughty Little Sister, My Naughty Little Sister by Dorothy Edwards. Um, that it is a similar style to that, and it opens up. It grabbed me right away because it was mentioning about how life before kids for Daddy, it was very quiet, and since the children were born, he calls Jonas Big Noise. He calls Maria Little Noise, and oh wait, sorry, yeah, Daddy calls him Big Noise Jonas. He calls me Little Noise, and I'm not nearly so noisy as Jonas. Sometimes I'm quiet for hours at a time. And then when Lotta was born, Daddy calls her Little Nut, and Lotta is definitely the instigator of troublemaking in a lot of these scenarios. Uh, she just is always into something, and yeah, it's a lot of fun to read. I would say I think one of my favorite chapters was when they go on a train ride to their grandparents' house, and just like the kids, Lotta talking about the wart on this guy's nose, on this passenger's nose, and it's just the mother's just trying to get her to be quiet. And the things that happen, I love finding books like this that are from the past, even though this is only about 75 years into the past. You just see the dynamics between parents and children, and they haven't really changed, or they haven't changed. And so it makes me think 10,000 years ago, the same things were going on. And gets to the point where just the exasperation the mother gets after this full day ride on the train. The kids got split up. She couldn't find them. And then Maria's in her voice is saying, after that, we had to sit there without moving because mother was very, very angry and said that it would be easier to watch a herd of wild buffalo than try to keep track of us. It was just like very entertaining for me to read. This was written in the 1950s. In Swedish author. The one chapter that is a little bit odd that you might want to take a look at before you read it out loud is Lotta in jail, because there is reference to black people or African slaves at one time. They're playing an imagination game, and there's nothing derogatory in that. It's more one of the kids is afraid. The other kid is saying, "You don't need to be afraid." Then Lotta is delighted that she has made this boy afraid of her, and and because she's the youngest, so that gives her a sense of power. So it wasn't like it wasn't a racial slur. Let me put it that way. But it's just something that you might want to be sensitive to. It could either be a conversation piece, or if you don't want to address it at this time, you can maybe skip the chapter. It doesn't interfere with the storytelling if you do. So anyway, I'm very excited to move on to the next book. There's one here called Lotta on Troublemaker Street, because they were some really fun characters, written very well, and we had a wonderful time with this book. So um, let me know your thoughts. If you have other books that you would recommend in the similar vein to this, I'd love to read them. And I will see you in the vault.